Hey, welcome to CBR. Today we're gonna look at Doctor Doom and how he reached his most powerful form. Doctor Doom has always been among the most imposing threats in the Marvel Universe. Since his debut in 1962's Fantastic Four #5, Doom has spread his plague of evil throughout the Marvel Universe. After discovering that his mother had been a sorcerer, he pursued magic and used the arts to foment unrest in Latveria. Victor went to Tibet to study the arts until he was a master magician and scientist with enough power to overthrow Latveria and claim it for his own. Ruling Latveria wasn't enough. Dr. Doom wanted to rule the world. Yet, unlike some superheroes he fights, Doom has no innate superpowers. What he has, he obtained through sorcery and technology. Dr. Doom has acquired immense powers through sheer cunning and conviction over the years. The first major instance is in Fantastic Four, #57. Doom invites the Silver Surfer into his castle, instilling the Sentinel of the Spaceways with a false sense of trust. Doom then uses this opportunity to steal the Surfer's power cosmic for himself. Years later, in the original Secret Wars, Dr. Doom is placed on the alien battle world alongside other villains and heroes in a competition of good versus evil. Doom attacks the Beyonder, the cosmic entity that transported him to Battleworld. Stealing the powerful being's abilities, Doom essentially becomes a god. When the heroes oppose him, the villain kills them with a thought, although they eventually rise again to defeat him. All of this pales in comparison to 2015's Secret Wars. In this epic storyline, the multiverse perishes following the final collision of the Marvel Universe and the Ultimate Universe. Dr. Doom, however, steals the power of a group of alien beings called the Beyonders and creates his own battle world from the remains of different worlds throughout the multiverse. The villain then becomes God Emperor Doom, ruler of Battleworld.
Welcome and thanks for joining us here at CBR. Dr. Doom, one of the greatest Marvel villains of all time. Through battles against every major Marvel hero, Dr. Doom has been a mainstay of comics since 1962. His powers rank him among the strongest villains, and his personality makes him far more interesting than the average foe. Above all, it's Dr. Doom's many powers that make him such a compelling figure. From his first appearance in Fantastic Four #5 to the Secret Wars saga, Dr. Doom has shown that his greatest asset is his supreme intellect. A peer and rival to Reed Richards, Victor Von Doom has always been a deeply intelligent figure. Across countless comics, Dr. Doom has developed an arsenal of technologies that make him an unpredictable threat. Any single one of his inventions could be considered a centerpiece for a lesser antagonist. But for Doom, each invention is just one piece of a larger puzzle. For example, Dr. Doom's Doombots are the villain's army of robots. As replicas of Doom himself with a shield to guard against detectability and low-level telepaths, Doombots present a tactical advantage, with his mind replicated in sentience insofar as they recognize themselves to be the real Dr. Doom. Except when in proximity to the real Doom, the Doombots can cast a wide net of attack, appearing in multiple locations at the same time. Even further, Doombots make sure that Dr. Doom can take care of multiple threats to his rulership without ever putting himself in danger. Meanwhile, the real Dr. Doom can work on something else altogether more nefarious, while his minions do his bidding. One of Dr. Doom's earliest technologies is his time platform, which, as the name suggests, allows him to travel through time. As a convergence of both science and magic, the time platform allows Dr. Doom to travel into the past and set up a new reign under different circumstances. Considered tactically, Dr. Doom can go back in time, adjust a timeline per his specifications, set up shop as a de facto ruler, and then utilize his new era as a base of operations. Having to meet Doom on his own terms instantly puts any heroes at a tactical disadvantage. Beyond Dr. Doom's Doombot replicas, there are multiple variations to his raised armies. Doom's bio-enhancement technologies have created Latverian super soldiers. His mind control devices allow him to convince others to do his bidding. And then there are those who believe in Dr. Doom's rule, especially those who have been subjugated by the previous Latverian king's whims. In short, Dr. Doom can call upon robots, enhanced individuals, and devout loyalists to aid him in his quest. More than just a character who goes one-on-one with any hero or team, Dr. Doom is a playmaker who considers the chess pieces at a remove. Far more than just a way of masking his scarred visage, Dr. Doom's armor boasts several assets. In the event of certain battle, Doom can call upon an in-suit array of abilities. Chief among them are Super Strength, which allows Dr. Doom to engage in hand-to-hand combat with assurance that he won't soundly be defeated by brute force alone. Durability and Regeneration, which gives Dr. Doom the insurance against taking a beating and ensures that he will live to fight another day in the event of defeat. Teleportation, which functions as either a contingency plan against defeat or to surprise Doom's enemies. Energy Manipulation allows Dr. Doom to command bursts of energy to strike opponents and create a force field to deflect attacks. Most notably, however, is Dr. Doom's original source of power. Besides his preternatural gifts of learning, his mother Cynthia Von Doom's magical texts and potions. The implications of Dr. Doom's magical abilities means that there are many mysteries yet to be seen and feared. He is adept at arcane knowledge, able to use esoteric enchantments and sorceries. Doom can also produce illusions, serving to beef up his tactical advantage. Along with barriers, blasts, and teleportation assets that have been attributed to both technology and science, Dr. Doom possesses the ability to combine his resources, going in bold new directions. Above all, Dr. Doom's willingness to push himself beyond reasonable limits allows him to advance in skills across the board. Among all of the Dr. Doom's traits, his superlative tactical sense allows him to find just the right combination to take down his enemies. At heart, Dr. Doom is a chess master whose main operations require meticulous planning and incredible foresight. Certain narratives like Secret Wars may feature the villain at his most otherworldly, but it is because of his planning that he can steal the Beyonder's powers and put a plan of totalitarian control into full effect. Dr. Doom isn't always a villain, and in several instances has had to team up with the heroes to reach a common goal. In this way, there is a sense that Dr. Doom is still a sympathetic character, and many storylines to back up this assertion, which might prove to be his most cunning trait. Having history with Reed Richards, a powerfully sad backstory, and a desire to communicate with his deceased mother, there is much to suggest that Dr. Doom's aims aren't always merely about total domination. In fact, it is precisely because Dr. Doom is a fully realized character, with his own wants, desires, weaknesses, and strengths, that he is hard to pin down and not so easily dismissed as another in the long line of Marvel villains. Dr. Doom can play sympathy to his advantage, which could lead to all sorts of disastrous results for those who choose to trust him. Conversely, the benefits of having someone like Dr. Doom on the hero's side go without saying. Dr. Doom is Marvel Comics' ultimate supervillain. The recent announcement that he will be entering the MCU promises huge developments that will shake the entire MCU to its core. But will his one true weakness hamper his bid for multiversal supremacy? Today at CBR, we're exploring what makes the world's supreme supervillain tick and how he is his own worst enemy. Victor Von Doom was once a bright and ambitious college student. Close friends with Reed Richards, Victor always sought more and more power, never settling for second best at anything. But when his arrogance and hubris got the better of him, Victor suffered a terrible accident that left his face hideously scarred. Driven by a single and unerring drive to become the most powerful being on the planet, Victor saw himself reborn as Dr. Doom. Sovereign of the nation of Latveria, Dr. Doom rules his country with an iron fist. Possessing a genius-level intellect, Doom is equipped with the world's most potent technology, utilizing armaments and weapons that not only keep his nation under heel, but the rest of the world on edge. As if being the world's wealthiest and most powerful sovereign wasn't enough, Doom is also an exceptional user of the mystic arts, second only to Doctor Strange. With the combined power of his intelligence, technology, and magic abilities, there is nothing that Doom cannot achieve. Dr. Doom has acted as a villain to nearly every major superhero team on the planet. He's antagonized the Avengers, entwined himself in the affairs of the X-Men, and most famously, been the arch-nemesis of the Fantastic Four. Wherever there is power to be gained, wherever there is dominance to be asserted, Dr. Doom will always be hot on its trail, ever eager to accumulate more. As one of the earliest supervillains introduced in Marvel Comics, Dr. Doom has decades of characterization and influence under his belt, setting the template for every other major villain to follow. Such a man would seem to be virtually undefeatable, and there have been several moments in history when Doom has actually succeeded in his quest for ultimate power over the world. In 1987's Emperor Doom story, Dr. Doom was able to gain control of the entire world and become its supreme ruler. In 2015's Secret Wars event, Dr. Doom elevated himself to becoming the single most powerful being in the entire multiverse, and so named himself God Emperor Doom. In both instances, Dr. Doom was second to none. There was not a single being or entity that existed above him in any possible regard. And yet, each time, Doom's one singular flaw presented itself and cost him everything. The true weakness that Dr. Doom possesses is his own indifference to godhood. He strives and strives to gain true power, but once it rests in his hands, he grows bored of it. In 1997's Emperor Doom, Dr. Doom grew discontent with his kingdom of Earth. He made the planet a utopia by ending all conflict, solving energy and food crises, and brought stability to all parts of the globe. But a life of trite politics began to wear him down, and deep within his heart, he began to miss the days when there was true excitement and danger in the air. As such, he relinquished his hold over the world and restored it to as it was. In 2015's Secret Wars event, a climactic showdown between Mr. Fantastic and Dr. Doom revealed once again that Doom's own insecurity was his downfall. Mr. Fantastic exclaimed to Doom that his act of attacking the Fantastic Four first was concrete proof that Doom knew Mr. Fantastic would have done a better job of wielding the Molecule Men's powers than he. As the dust settled after the event, Doom removed his mask and laughed. For all the death and destruction he caused, for all the conflict he gave birth to, and for all the power he wielded over the entire Mulletverse deep within his heart, Doom always knew that Reed Richards was his superior. It might seem bizarre that such a man with an insatiable appetite for dominance would want to dispose of it once gained, but every being is flawed in its own way. With Dr. Doom's reveal in the MCU, this ultimate weakness may yet play a part in his role. Something as tremendous and revelatory as his deepest secret might not be the very first means of Dr. Doom facing defeat, but with the Fantastic Four receiving their own movie next year, the classic rivalry between them and Doom will be established. Doom is not invincible, but he is one of the most terrifying, manipulative, and dangerous men on the planet. Regardless of what his goals are, absolute power will always be the dangling fruit that he will grasp for. It could be that Secret Wars will adapt the 2015 event, putting Doom in control of the entire multiverse, or it could be the first step towards such a gigantic transformation for the MCU. Proper pacing will be paramount in portraying Dr. Doom well. Such a supervillain needs time to breathe, to develop, and to prove himself as the multiverse's undisputed threat. The unfortunate development of Kang only confirms how imperative it will be to treat Dr. Doom with the care and attention his character deserves. There are countless possibilities for which direction the MCU can take when Secret Wars releases. Will it bring about a bright new future for the Fantastic Four and the X-Men? Or will it usher in the Age of Doom?
Now, fantastic fools, you shall feel the wrath of Doom.
Hey, welcome to CBR. Dr. Victor Von Doom, better known as Dr. Doom, is alternately both a major Marvel villain and a tragic figure. Recently, at San Diego Comic-Con 2024, it was announced that Dr. Doom will be leading the charge against the Avengers in 2 upcoming films, Doomsday and Secret Wars, and will be played by Robert Downey Jr. There's plenty to know about the complicated figure who has been a staple of Marvel Comics since 1962. Dr. Doom's first appearance in 1962's Fantastic Four #5 was a smash hit. The villain's iconic visage was an instant success with fans, who found a formidable villain for the 4 Marvel heroes. It would be 2 years before any sort of backstory was given to Dr. Doom. Doom's character may have been lean compared to the more robust narratives that would follow. Doom's backstory was fleshed out in Fantastic Four Annual #2 in 1964. Victor Von Doom was the child of a village healer named Werner, who was sought after by the king to heal the latter's ailing wife. When Werner fails, he and his family are hunted by the king. Eventually, Werner passes on from exposure, leaving Victor to fend for himself. After going through his mother's belongings, Victor finds books and potions containing mystical powers, which he would spend the rest of his life studying and mastering. Fantastic Four Annual #2 doesn't go deep into the background of Victor Von Doom's mother, Cynthia Von Doom. But a comic from 1989, Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom, Triumph and Torment, expands this element of Doom's backstory. Cynthia made a deal with the character Mephisto, her soul in exchange for magical powers, to guarantee revenge. The cost, however, was too high and weighed heavily on Cynthia in her final years. Doctor Doom's home is the Kingdom of Latveria. The exact location is unclear, though it's generally agreed upon that it's located in Eastern Europe. Once Doctor Doom's identity, mask and all, become what we are more familiar with today, he used his abilities to exact revenge for his fallen family members and persecuted Zephyro clan. But there would be one major detour before Victor's plan could be put into action. Reed Richards and Victor Von Doom's time together is a classic story of rivalry and respect. Victor was making a name for himself in Latveria as a liberator. His powers and his deep intellect also made him a mighty inventor, which ultimately gained him admission to the Empire State University. There, he would meet Reed Richards. Reed and Victor's friendship was founded on mutual respect and technological developments and had more than a healthy dose of rivalry. Victor primarily wanted to find a way to contact his deceased mother, which led to an experiment that backfired and scarred his face. In some versions of the Doctor Doom timeline, it's here that he begins to devote himself entirely to his mission, which brings him to Tibet. Victor's time in Tibet bolstered him with new wisdom and disciplined training. After this spiritual awakening, Victor decides to don the mask and return to Latveria. Dr. Doom's motives vary from arc to arc. Though he is often seen as an antagonistic figure, there have been instances in which Doom has teamed up with the good guys. In Doom Quest, for example, covered in Iron Man number 149 to 150, Dr. Doom is sent back in time with Iron Man to Camelot. There, Dr. Doom and Iron Man must work together, utilizing era-specific technology along with their own to develop a rudimentary time machine and work together to get home. In July 2025, a new Fantastic Four film is coming, which all but guarantees that the upcoming appearances of Dr. Doom will broach the subject of Doom and Reed Richards' time in college. Fans can expect Doomsday and Secret Wars to feature Richards and the rest of the team, which could unify the myriad threads of the MCU. The likeliest scenario for the upcoming Avengers movie is that Dr. Doom believes himself to be the only viable ruler of the world, meaning Earth and its people will fall under his protection after incursions accelerate to a rate that could spell certain destruction. Dr. Doom's aims are never solely altruistic, informed by his ego and vanity. His actions could be a measure to not simply control, but to prove himself as the only unifying force under whom the world can continue to exist.
What can I tell you? I like playing complicated characters.
Hey, and welcome to CBR. You would have guessed that the big surprise of San Diego Comic-Con 2024 would be the reveal of Robert Downey Jr.'s return to the MCU. Even more surprising is that he won't be reprising his role as Tony Stark, but will instead be playing none other than Victor Von Doom, better known as Dr. Doom. Well, the in-room reaction was one of audible gasps and applause. The news has hit fans all over in different ways. Let's take a closer look. The feeling in Hall H might have been one of ecstatic joy, but fan reactions were decidedly mixed upon receiving the Dr. Doom news. One fan said, "My reaction was just like Thor's when he saw Hulk in Ragnarok." It's safe to say that there are many who feel the same way, happy to have Robert Downey Jr., one of the most crucial participants of the MCU, and a guaranteed audience draw, taking on a new, vastly different role from Tony Stark. Another CBR user asks a valid question. What happens when they see his face? The curveball decision makes sense when considering that Victor Von Doom will likely be behind a mask for most of his appearances. Beneath the iconic mask, Doom is covered in scars that render any actor effectively disguised by prosthetics. It's also likely that this will be a character less in line with Robert Downey Jr.'s charming public persona. If the actor is unrecognizable, then only his talent will shine through, and there's no reason to expect Robert Downey Jr.'s Victor Von Doom to bear any relation to his former role. Several users were less than pleased with the Doctor Doom casting decision. One said simply, desperation, suggesting that the MCU's recent troubles connecting to the audience has led to the Hail Mary play to revitalize interest in the franchise. Another user said, okay, I guess that's that, meeting the news with a shrug and a collective meh. These fans are less than optimistic about Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, and there are plenty of others who share the sentiment. Marvel's decision to bring back a superstar talent, especially after a fantastically fitting ending for Tony Stark, is no easy pill to swallow. Is there a particular reason outside talent that there was no other actors who haven't yet been in the MCU who weren't given an opportunity to make the role their own? Wariness is not without reason. The shocking reveal is just that, a reveal, and not any definitive proof that Robert Downey Jr.'s casting was either a good or bad decision. But even an announcement comes with its own set of problems. One user put it succinctly, honestly, feel it would have been crazy if we found out in the theater directly. These comments show that even beyond the merits of performance, the news spoils a certain amount of the experience. Finding out that Robert Downey Jr. is Victor Von Doom was always going to simply be a matter of time, a secret that would find its way into the audience's ears long before they ever set foot in the theater, through set leaks, posters, speculation, and more. The downside of the casting announcement is that the element of surprise is now gone. If the intention was to get the conversation going, then Kevin Feige did a bang-up job. But if there was anything to withhold until showtime, it's the big villain and the man behind the mask. One user made the point that this decision cheapens Iron Man's death. Beyond capability and whatever the Russo brothers have planned, the very presence of Robert Downey Jr. suggests the name alone does a disservice to Tony Stark's legacy. With the final snap that undid Thanos' wrongs and the noble sacrifice made by Iron Man, Avengers Endgame was an emotional high for the MCU that likely won't be matched in the near future. I can't help but agree with this user who said they'd have liked a classic Doom. A classic version of the character would chart Victor Von Doom's complicated, heartbreaking background, but it's too early to tell just how the films will tackle the iconic character. At the end of the day, San Diego Comic-Con 2024 did what it was supposed to do. People are talking about Doctor Doom, they're talking about Robert Downey Jr., and they're talking about the MCU as a franchise. Let us know how you feel about Marvel's major casting news. Whether you think Robert Downey Jr. is right for Doctor Doom. Also, keep an eye out on the community tab for more chances to give your input on the latest fandom, news, and debates. Until next time, thanks for joining us at CBR.